Big Dan, how you doing?
Regan, how are you, mate?
Doing great. What's the
That's
news, my
good.
friend?
I jagged a 3 day a week um, job. Um,
Nice.
yeah, so I signed an agreement yesterday. So I'm just waiting for their executed copies to come back, and I'll start Monday. Just
Okay.
helping a process an aluminium purification processing company.
Okay.
They have IP around purifying aluminium to 99.99, I think it's point 0.6 decimal places of nine.
Impressive.
Puts
Impressive.
them, yeah, puts them in a fairly unique place in the world. Interesting. So yeah, they're just kicking off. It's a $600 million project. They're building a bigger. They've already got a plant up at Gladstone, but it's called a precursor production facility. So it's kind of low scale, but still commercial, but it's low scale. Or they're
Mm.
building full commercial operation on the same footprint, or in the same site up in Gladstone. So I just
Awesome.
need some help with contracts. So I said, yeah,
So when do you start?
Monday. Monday.
Monday. Awesome.
Yeah,
Are you excited? It's a
yeah, it's good because I need cash. I'm burning cash,
yeah.
and since I finished up a Unity Water, which has been fine. I've been doing a lot of this sort of stuff and a lot of reading and and I've been helping out a digital mapping company as well. But I've decided to pull out of that. They're starting to get a bit dodgy.
Okay.
And yeah. So I just said, oh no, because I was going to do 2 days a week with them and 3 days with the processing company. But I think I'll just find something else to do for the other 2 days. So this work will quite nicely slot into that
Okay. Are
in the
you
interim.
are you and Troy still communicating?
Yeah, yeah, it's a bit difficult with Troy. It has been for quite a while. He's just got other priorities.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's fine. And that's been a struggle for quite a while actually. So
Yeah,
his
well, that was
commitments.
the entire story during
Yeah,
when we first started
100%.
working together,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And I guess that hasn't changed. So
Mm.
his commitment to Empowerment Works is not good at wasn't up to what he said he would do.
Okay.
And so yeah, we're just going to use it as an investment vehicle now. So we've just shut the website and all that sort of stuff. So which
Okay.
is a bit disappointing. However, it's just it needed to happen, that we needed just to shut that door and
Yeah.
move on. So
Give
he's
you
still keen
opportunities
to.
to open new ones.
Yeah, and that's it, mate. So and I'm fine with that. It's just good to have some clarity around what we're doing. So
Yep.
and some agreement about it. So that's good.
Okay, great. Well, I'm happy to hear cash flow is now going to be improved.
Yep.
And that's something we can talk about as these milestones progress, because we do want this process to be very holistic and
Yes.
comprehensive, right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
we'll get to things like financial health and
Yep.
money making, etc., in due course.
Yep. 100%.
Um, Now,
100%.
I have requested access to your Google Slides, so you'll have to go in and approve that access.
I'm in slides now.
So the most recent one, I'm going to request it again.
Yeah, I got it. So I see you've got asked to be an editor.
I Yeah, I don't have even viewing privileges.
Okay. So I've just
So,
done that now.
okay. Yep, got it.
So yeah, good. So and I've uploaded it. I uploaded it to the Alchemy one.
Yep. So am accessing it through your dashboard, which is excellent.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
Yep.
and I'll try and see if I can view it as a slideshow
Yeah,
from
because I've
mine.
just that one the one that I uploaded, I've just made some tweaks. They're only minor tweaks to it.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different, but not materialistic, not a material change, just a few little minor tweaks.
All right. Mm. Now, would you like me to share my screen?
Yeah, okay, thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Can you see?
Yep, got it. Good.
Perfect.
Right, so I've just used the Phoenix as we discussed last week. Um,
Excellent. Yes.
So that, yeah, so it's front and center at the minute. So that's good. So the introduction, slide one, yeah. So I guess for me, it's about using the processes, or fundamentally using the philosophy and the processes about changing or transforming lower value to higher value, I guess. Um, so, obviously not in a material manner, but in more emotional, mental sort of manner. I guess there'd be maybe some physical aspects to it, around health. When we talk about health, wealth, and that sort of thing. So I think there might be some physical things there, but essentially it's about the mind transformation. Um,
All right, I'm going to jump in, and I think that we're missing an important step here,
yeah.
and that is the highest level view of what are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to do? Right? So, alchemy and self-study, these are sort of methodological approaches to personal transformation. But what's the end outcome here? What is it that you're aiming at?
So I'm aiming to be a better version of myself.
Okay. So there are, I imagine, a number of dimensions.
Yes.
So typically, we boil them down to some form of trinity. So you
Yes.
might say mind, body, spirit. You might say health, wealth, love. There could be some other way of approaching what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
So you want to have that overarching view of who you want to be and break it down into some dimensions. And then it's like, okay, how are we going to do that? Answer through
Yeah.
this alchemical process. So that which involves a level of self-study as well as using the sort of background logic and framework of alchemy. And then we can refine that further to, these are some of the experiments I want to run, and here are the ways I'm going to collect, say,
Yeah.
data, etc.
So
So,
yep, good. I'm just reading the second dot point there, and I guess the higher order is the second half of that paragraph, which is to utilize my talents to their utmost potential. That's pretty much what the end game for me is,
cool.
and help others. That's it.
So let's see if we can
That's it.
turn that into something that's really like punchy, right? Like what what I'm trying to do is I want to blah X, right? And then this is sort of like a way of contextualizing it. The driver of these pursuits is the fulfillment of God's expectations, to utilize my talents, etc.
Yep.
Right. So that's sort of like the description of what you're trying to be, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Now, who you're trying to be could be some kind of like, you could be enlightened, right? You could go down the
Yeah.
Buddhist path. You could be Christ-like, or
Yeah.
you could be a mentor and teacher in your own life and world. You
Yeah.
could be so many things. We want to almost think of an archetype, right? A symbol, right? So that phoenix that you've got in the beginning,
Yeah.
yeah, that's symbolic of the transformation.
Yeah.
We want an archetype for what is this phoenix being transitioned into?
Ah, yes.
What is I mean, so that phoenix bird is a beautiful creature, right? It's
Yeah. Oh,
at the
yeah.
end of the process. And so the phoenix represents, there's that death, rebirth, growth, beauty. So I guess to some degree that phoenix is the end of the process. So we want something that's more applicable to you, to the end of your process.
Yes. Okay.
The magnum opus, the great work that you are, um, your philosopher's stone.
Yeah.
And then this will come in as the second or third dot point. Why use
Yeah.
alchemy? What is
Yeah.
alchemy? Blah blah blah.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. So what I'll add a point above that. That'll be that punchy.
Yeah. And this is, in the stranger secret, it's like we become what we think about. So what are your thoughts all aligned to? What's your North Star? What's
Yeah.
your aim? What's heaven for you?
Yeah.
who's the figure, the archetype that you're aiming to be, right?
Because I think that's part of the challenge for me is that I get a sense that there's not an alignment. So this process, this study is about getting alignment, I guess. So
Sure.
um, I can describe what heaven is. There's no problem with that, and I can describe what the phoenix. Yeah, I'll describe what the phoenix is for me, being the end of the end of the process. So, and I'll do yeah. So
Sure.
I can do that.
Okay, and because this can change, right?
Yeah, sure, sure, sure. Yeah,
So it doesn't have to be set in stone. You want to aim at something now that is going to give us something to work towards, and then as we start working, we'll be able to refine that process,
yeah.
right? That
Okay, cool.
that outcome, that goal.
All right.
Um, think also, in terms of archetypes, there are only really a handful of different archetypes, right? Like there's the teacher, there is the hero, there is the king, there is um, the explorer, the magician. All of these are great things to aim at, and they represent different parts of our personality, right?
Yeah,
Say towards the retirement years, you may think it's more about being that sagely wise person.
yeah,
Or you might even think it's about having more fun, getting up to mischief, right? That Loki character, right? A bit of creative chaos, right? These are fantastic depictions of a way of being,
yeah, yeah,
right? And so when we have like, if you aspired to be kind of like that Loki character, it's like, okay, well, you want to start in having doing a bit more mischief, right? Getting up to no good. If you wanted to be that wise and sagely person, okay, well, maybe you're spending a lot more time reading books and even giving lectures and seminars,
yeah,
etc. And then it's like, okay, well, you've got that sage or that Loki character. Then you can use alchemy to get there. You can
yes.
transform what you're
Okay, yeah, yeah.
doing
No, that's
to
good.
to
That's
become
good.
aligned. Yeah,
Yeah, I get that because I was getting confused a bit with the alchemy and the role, but yeah, that's
yeah,
a good description of it. So
yeah,
there's an end point, and then there's a means to that end,
yeah.
and I'm missing the end point.
Yes,
That this is all means to that. Yes, I get it.
correct.
Okay,
Yep.
cool, got it.
All
That's
right.
good.
So we know why we're going to use alchemy because it's a way of going through that
Yeah,
transmutation process.
yeah,
It gives us a lens through which we can understand how we break down characteristics and
yeah,
then build them up to something else.
yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we've done background stuff a
Yeah,
fair
yeah, I
bit
think so.
already.
So, yeah, so I just added in there the highlighted bits. So I just wanted to personalize it a little bit. So, I just said there that there's a connection to the hero's journey of work. There's a connection to Jung and his theoretical work, and there's a connection to the hemisync. So I was just putting those,
Yep.
trying to personalize it a little bit. So
Cool.
that's
Yep.
all that needs to be said there. You can jump to the next one now.
Yep. Yep.
And same with
Okay.
this one. So yeah, it's the modern uses of they're just the highlighted sections. So, expanding consciousness, testing transferability, which is a key thing, relating to the gateway experience a couple of times, and then that number 4, which is interesting. I've got quite an interest in that too at the minute about the toxicity of organisations and the impact they have on people's mental well-being or mental health. And so I've got quite a thing to say about that. So that's why I just put in business that was desperately needed. So that's about, which is quite interesting. I quite like that concept of business transformation or cultural transformation in an alchemical sense. So I
Yep.
think there's that one struck a chord with me as well. So
Okay.
yeah, okay, cool.
All right. I'll put a note in just to say that it's good as a way of demonstrating how generalizable these concepts are, but be careful not to try to put too many prongs in the fire, right?
Yes, yes, and that's my thing, Regan.
Yes, I'm aware.
I go, oh fuck, I like that one. Oh fuck, I like that one. It's like that's why I don't go very well at buffets because I go fuck, I love that. Yeah, anyway, same thing. Anyway, all good. I
Yep.
get you. So yeah,
Yep. Okay.
and I guess I think what'll help now. is that once I go back and define that archetype, then that will help pare back a lot of this stuff.
Sure.
Because while there's a bit of fog around that, where's the end point, or what is it? What am I coming to be? Then I'm just grabbing everything as I go.
Yes,
It's a bit like
exactly.
I don't
Yep,
know if I need this because I'm not clear on what the fuck I'm doing. So
exactly.
and that'll help. So this next iteration will be a lot better
Yep, well
after
spotted.
this one.
That's
Yeah,
exactly right.
yeah,
So if you've got a clear
yeah,
endpoint,
yeah.
it'll be clear what is aligned
What?
with it and what's taking you away from it.
Yeah, yeah. What tools I need or what weapons I need. It'll be very
Yep.
clear. Okay, so this hasn't changed much from the last. Um,
Okay.
so, and
If
again, I
if
think this will
that's
be.
true of a
Mm,
lot of this stuff,
yeah,
right. So
yeah,
this is very wordy, which is fine. That's what we were doing as a brain dump. What I think the next one should be, give me 10 slides, pictures only.
pictures only.
Pictures only. Yep.
Ooh.
And this, I think, is going to be an
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I like that.
I think it's going to be interesting as a little examination. I think you think primarily in words,
Yes,
and
yes.
because we talked about with the gateway experience, you said you were struggling to imagine the different colors.
Yeah, when I shut my eyes, I can't. I don't see much. So
Yep.
you had to get. When you're doing the healing one, you get all the energy when you put your hands out, and
Yep.
the white beams come down. I can't see the white beams, or the wand. I can't see the wand, and I can't see the purple color for healing, or you know.
So my thinking is that you may have either a degree of aphantasia, but more likely what's happened is, as an academic, as somebody who's been in, words and data and spreadsheets and things like that, likely what's happening is that you're constraining your consciousness
Yeah,
to the written word,
yeah,
which is good. I mean, it's a fantastic thing to have because it gives you analytical capacity. But what it can prevent is the creative
yeah,
intelligence.
yeah,
Okay. So what we want to do, let's go to what I would call a higher bandwidth, right? Reading is very low bandwidth because you can only do sort of bit by bit. And I think it's like 40 bits a second is about how much we can take in through reading. Whereas imagery, it's high def. So these archetypes, they're high definition symbols because that one symbol carries with it a ton of meaning.
yeah, yeah. I
So
like
what I
that.
would like you to do is go
Yep,
through some of the alchemical symbols,
yep,
the archetypes. Now, you don't have to only select ones that are personally relevant and meaningful to you, but through this process, I do want you to identify which ones are personally relevant and meaningful to you.
yep,
Okay? Because what I can already see is that you're starting to spin your wheels going around on words and trying
yep,
to refine, but we're not at the refinement process yet. We are at the creative exploration stage,
yep, yep, yep,
right? So symbolism, imagery, give me 10 slides, only images. There can be more than one image on a slide.
yep,
And you're going to tell me what these things represent to you in particular about your de desired outcome,
yep.
right?
Okay,
So
cool.
this is a way of giving a high definition representation of what you're trying to
Yeah,
achieve.
yeah,
And then, okay, words and all of that can come. You've done great. You've dumped down all these words. We will then go ahead and take what's relevant from that and then combine it with the imagery.
sweet, sweet. I like that.
And then down the track, we can be like, okay, what are some of the experiments we can do? So what data can we collect? And this is where we can come back to what we talked about at the beginning. We can talk about tracking your finances. We can talk about tracking, your the weights you're lifting in the
Yeah,
gym,
yeah,
how regularly you're doing these things. Obviously, so health, wealth, love, faith, focus, effort. Um, there's all kinds of measurements we can take. So let's go imagery first. We've already done words first, imagery next, and then we can start to narrow down what data do we want to collect.
yep. Awesome. I really like that. That'll be quite challenging for me.
I suspect so, but
But
I
in a
also
good way.
think it will potentially open channels in your mind because it
Yes.
may it may bring you out of focusing on words and open you up to thinking in pictures, which then you just think at a higher bandwidth.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Awesome.
That'll unblock the blockage, I think,
Yeah.
without
Okay.
doubt. So that's good. All right.
Just really quickly, is there anything in here that's exceptionally different that's worth
No, no, not these last the
yeah.
last few.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I just cut them back a little bit. Just took some of the words out, but yeah, essentially it's pretty much as it is.
Okay, great. So we now have a couple of iterations of that slide deck. We
Yeah,
don't want to over polish.
yeah,
Let's leave the words aside, and now a new one is going to be create a new one, same format. So do the date, year, month, day, and then it could just be images or archetypes or symbols, something like that.
yeah,
Call it that, and then let's just have continuous snapshots.
yep.
Is that
Sounds good.
clear? I feel a little bit hazy myself. So is that clear and
Yeah, yeah, no, I've got it. It's clear as for me. I understand what you're talking about. It'll be a really good process
yeah,
to
I
go
think
through.
so. I think this is
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to be really great.
For the reasons you've just said, I think it'll be very good. It'll be very good. And I think that's the thing, like the left brain in my life gets hammered so much that, because I used to be very, I had a very vivid imagination when I was a young boy. I can remember it.
Mm,
The things I could imagine in my mind were just outstanding.
mm.
Color and definition and intricacy and that. But now yeah, it's just like you turn the light off.
Okay.
So
So,
I
because we talked about this in the gateway training, and this is a current um, debate in the neuroscientific literature, whether it is a trainable skill
mm,
to improve mental imagery and and reduce aphantasia, or whether it's some kind of hard-coded ability.
yeah,
I know personally some of the people researching this stuff, and I know that they think it's a hard-coded ability, but I genuinely just think they're wrong,
mm,
right? And one of the reasons I think they're wrong um, is I know one of the people himself has aphantasia, but I also know what he does with his mind and what he does with his day, and it's like he does everything that you could do to reduce your ability to to think in
oh
high
yeah,
definition,
yes,
visual
yes,
imagery. Um, and for me, I've been in the academic world, but I've
yeah,
also spent a lot of time outside of it,
yes,
where I'm like meditating for really long periods of time, say, 10 days at a time in dark, etc. And during those periods, your ability to mentally visualize things just explodes because
yeah,
you
right.
don't have that input. And so you kind of stop thinking in words because you actually quieten the mind. And then it opens you up to sort of channels of imagination. And then it feels like you're receiving high definition
Yeah,
information. Whereas with the words, it typically feels like you're producing them.
mm, mm,
Um, so my personal experience is one that has gone through dramatic alterations in the way that my mind works as a result of doing some kind of alchemical work.
yeah,
So
yeah,
my view is that it is a fundamentally changeable um, attribute, but the modern neuroscience comes from the perspective that it isn't. So this may actually provide some interesting data on that question.
yeah. I think so too. Because I've just noticed since the gateway process that I've been dreaming a lot more. I've been remembering dreams, and they've been very, very clear.
Okay.
Like like I wake up and I think I've just done that,
Yeah.
and it's kind of freaky because I think, shit, did I just do that? And
Mm,
then I've got to sort of check myself to think where am I? Like
mm.
so, and that's only come since Gateway. Like I dream, but I don't remember them, and they're very hazy. But yeah, just since Gateway, they've been very sharp, very sharp.
Okay. Awesome. I love it. So here's what I'm thinking. Symbols, archetypes,
Yep,
and visual imagery.
yep,
And then I think in time, one of the things that we can do to enhance that is maybe going out and capturing, say with a camera, some things that are aligned with it,
yeah,
that
oh,
represent these elements of you. And
yeah,
then even things like drawing could be a good practice as well, because we've done things
Yeah.
like journaling, fear journaling, etc. So all of these are emphasizing the word.
Words, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I
So
like that because I can't draw for shit. Like,
uh, and it could be related. I
yeah,
imagine that if we improve your drawing ability, we would also improve your visualization ability, and that makes
100%.
a ton of sense, right?
No doubt about that. Because my mum picked up art very late in life, and she was exceptional. Some of her work was just. I looked at it and I go, "Oh my God, did you do that, mum?" And she go, "Yeah, I did that." So yeah, it can be latent. It was certainly latent for her for a long time, you know. And she
Yep.
was in numbers, or she was accountant's clerk all her life, so she was able to release the art, And so yeah, I'm very keen to try that as well because
Right.
I love art. I just love the way artists see the world, and they can take something and just turn it into something else. I just go shit. I look at it
Yeah.
and I go, how did you possibly think to do that? Like so yeah, I've got quite a deep respect for artists.
Excellent.
And
Well,
almost a bit of
we
envy.
may
And some
turn
envy
you
too.
into an artist yet, with your life being the canvas.
Picasso.
Yeah.
Picasso on mushrooms or something. Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
that's
that
good.
guy had enough mushrooms. He doesn't need more.
I'm
Um,
pretty excited about that. That's good. I think that will be a breakthrough,
all right,
that
awesome.
what you're just describing. Mm.
What
Okay.
I also recommend
Yes.
during this week, do you want to go back through the Intro to Alchemy course on the app?
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
Just get that stuff back into your head. I'd noticed that because I did a whole upgrade of my dashboards and things like that, and I think I've it's removed a bit of your old data that we had when you first came to see me.
Yeah.
Now I could go back and get that. That's not a problem
No, don't
in
worry.
case we wanted
No,
it.
I don't.
But why don't we just start telling a new story?
Yeah, tell a new story because
Yeah,
that's essentially what we're doing.
yeah, exactly. So
We're starting now. Um, that's
yeah.
what we're doing. So yeah, no, that's fine, mate. I'll do that. I'll
So go
review
through
that.
Intro to Alchemy. There'll be a few like the questionnaires about health, wealth, love, where you want to get to. There's that Stranger Secret audio and a couple of others. So go through that
Yeah,
and
yeah,
um and then a new slide deck for next week.
awesome,
Love it.
mate. Awesome.
All
Now,
right.
just quickly, just getting
Yeah.
back to Gateway, I've just booked the debrief
Yeah, so you did
session
a
with you.
30-minute one. I was a bit confused by that. So I'll just extend that to a 60-minute.
Yeah, because I did
That's
one and then
tomorrow.
I did one and it clashed. Yeah, 1:30 tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. I'll extend that to a 60-minute.
Yeah,
Do
right.
you have an hour?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
mate.
All
Yeah,
right.
no worries. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right.
Right.
Well,
Excellent.
go ahead with the next slide deck. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing what you come
So,
up with.
so we'll do another a week in a week's time session, not a month. So,
Nah, let's keep doing it at the week level.
yeah, right. I'll
Yeah.
book
I
that.
mean, unless you want to extend the time frame.
No, no. I think I'd just like to get this first bit right,
That's my thinking too.
and then we can get then the rest of it, then once we get into that sort of research sort of
Yeah.
exploratory thing, that can be month.
Yeah,
Just
so I've got some thinking on that.
mm, mm,
Probably what I will do, I'm gonna see if I can get a few more people into this kind of program.
yeah,
So you might
okay.
remember Scott. I
Yes,
think
yeah,
he
yeah.
might be a good candidate. He and I have still been working together, but he wants to do some like life project kind of things.
Was he the one that left his family business to go into landscaping?
Yes.
That's good. Oh yeah, he's great. I like
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, he's a good kid. In fact, I just spoke to him before this, and we we just outlined a potential project that he's going to maybe take on. And so he's actually this week he's going to go and just collect some field data.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
a
awesome.
social kind of thing. So he's going to do that, and then we might bring him into this structure. And then Ricardo, I think, could be
Oh yeah.
an
Oh,
additional. Yeah,
he's an awesome human. That guy. Oh
yeah,
my God.
exactly. So what I'm thinking is these sessions we would probably try to get everybody in the one time,
Yeah. Yeah.
make them an hour, and then every person has to present their 10 slides, 10 minutes
Yep.
with, say, 5 to 10 minutes of feedback each. And it's like a round table thing. So
Yep. Yep.
that way, this is how I can scale this program because, as I said, this one is not about financial benefit to me.
No, no, I understand that. Yeah. Yeah.
But if we do it intelligently, um, we can get you guys all to meet each week And that way, so the frequency is high enough, but you have to present each week.
Yeah.
And maybe what happens down the track, if we get more people, okay, maybe you present each month, but you come each week.
Yeah.
You get to
Yeah.
talk and be a part of it,
Yeah.
but you only have to present once per month,
Yeah. That
right?
makes sense. That
But
makes sense.
because you're seeing everybody else present and giving them feedback, you can use that feedback and incorporate it into your own.
Your own, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's a great idea. That's a
So
really
let's
good
go with the
idea.
weekly, and then I'll add
Yep.
some people. And then I think once it gets beyond two or three, I think it'll be important to bring
Yeah.
everybody together. And
Okay.
that is the beginning of the Mastermind Academy. All right.
Nice work. I like
Awesome,
it.
man.
All right, mate.
Take
Well,
care.
thanks again. Thanks for your feedback. Appreciate that. And
Yep,
we'll
always a
talk to you
pleasure.
next week.
Sounds good.
Well, I'll talk
Ciao.
to you tomorrow and then, yeah,
Yep,
next week.
yep.
Thanks,
Perfect.
mate.
Ciao.
Bye bye.